So here's the truth, and I wish someone had told me earlier. 50% of having a successful documentary career isn't about filmmaking at all. It's about the business of making documentaries, and if you don't learn this side of it, all the passion in the world won't be enough to make your filmmaking a sustainable career. So many filmmakers, including myself, get lost in the art and we completely overlook the business side that makes it all possible. It's not that we don't care about getting paid, but it's easier to ignore this stuff and that we don't want to learn, and we convince ourselves that if we just get better at the craft, it will compensate for the rest. And trust me, I've done this more times than I'd like to admit, and it's just not the truth. The reality comes when we're relying on our spouse or our parents to pay our bills, and your dream starts to feel more like a really expensive hobby. But it doesn't have to be this way. The problem is a lot of filmmakers just don't know where to start. Let me get real for a second. If you're happy making films for yourself, and if you have a trust fund or you don't need to worry about income, this probably isn't the video for you. But for the rest of us who are serious about making this a career and not just a hobby, then let's tackle the business side. All right, the first skill that every documentary filmmaker needs, in my opinion, is to learn how to produce. I'm not talking about producers who book hotel rooms and fetch coffee. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about learning to evaluate ideas, put together pitch decks, identify target audiences, build a budget, and to be confident and a clear communicator. These are a few skills that you need to learn if you want to move past just being a DP or an owner-operator that relies on the next phone call for your next gig. And when it doesn't ring, you start to stress about how you're going to pay the rent or your mortgage. You don't have to become an expert on any of these, but we've found that just learning the basic skills can open up endless doors. All right, the next skill every documentary filmmaker needs to learn is how to direct. You know, this isn't just about observing a story, it's about learning to tell stories. You know, right now we're seeing fewer and fewer documentary directors come up that really understand the science and art of storytelling. You know, we're seeing more and more DPs, but very few qualified directors that understand documentary filmmaking is more than just creating sexy footage. The truth is, storytelling starts well before you ever get out the camera. It starts with your ability to articulate your vision on paper. You know, this means crafting a world-class logline, writing clear vision statements, and understanding why you want to participate in the story, why you actually want to tell it. You know, when you combine these strong production skills with competent directing, it's like striking a match and throwing it into a fireplace full of gasoline. It's that powerful. All right, once you have these foundational skills, there's three others that kind of round out the business side. These are marketing, distribution, and impact campaigns. You know, first is marketing. Many filmmakers dread this stuff, you know, but it's not as complicated as you think. If you're willing to put in just a little more time and effort than most filmmakers, like creating marketing assets and promoting your film on social media and learning, you know, basic email skills, you're already separating yourself from the majority of documentary filmmakers. This is the edge that is going to separate your real and who you are from other filmmakers. So I hate to say it, but I see more doc filmmakers struggle financially because they raise the money, make a great movie, and it fails because they don't know how to market it well. You know, this becomes so discouraging that they have a hard time trying to do it again. And they go out and they just go back to commercial work, or even worse, they just get out altogether. You know, we've seen it dozens of times. You can just basically go to Facebook Marketplace and see people who are selling all their gear and saying, I'm getting out of the game. This is usually why. They took a chance on making a film, it got too exhausting, they got in over their skis on the financial side, and then they just bailed. And they went and got a corporate job, or they just moved off to something else. I don't want you to do that. All right, now let's look at distribution. So here's the thing. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to understand the basic distribution pipelines that are out there and the pros and cons of each one. You know, it's not hard to learn, but you need to know the facts. All right, the final business skill to learn is putting together impact campaigns. You know, impact campaigns are becoming more and more important in today's documentary landscape, but many filmmakers fail to invest the time to learn how to put these all together. Impact campaigns not only help your film succeed, but they also make you more marketable as a filmmaker. The truth is, once you learn how to do these, you know, they become easier and easier to do over time because you have templates, or you can start with a template. When we created Doc Film School, it wasn't because online courses were trending or the hip thing to do. It was because we wanted to help especially impact documentary filmmakers who are serious about making great films and creating a career of it. And what we started to see was the foundational business tools that were out there were too complicated. We wanted to create a comprehensive system that you could take with you for the rest of your career. As we all know, pre-production, production, and post-production storytelling are the foundation for making a documentary and being a documentary filmmaker. But there's another 50% that's essential to having this be a career, and a career that you love.